Hi, this is DrClyde, and we're now on step 4 of our mini course on the metabolic method, fixing your metabolic flow. And in this step, we're looking at the 3 layers of movement: activity breaks to keep your muscles idling through the day, endurance exercise to increase the delivery or the supply component of your metabolic rate, and strengthening to increase the demand component so that the supply and the demand are more closely matched. Whatever is faltering in your system will give you insight into what type of exercise pattern would most leverage all the things that you're already doing right to fill in a metabolic gap. So at its simplest level, think about exercise as optimizing the supply and demand system of your body, where your cardiovascular system is driving the supply of nutrients, including oxygen, to your neuromuscular system, and particularly your muscle fibers, which is your engine size. And your skeletal muscle is the component of your engine that is most easily manipulated with our lifestyle choices. So in the metabolic exercise mini course, I go through the details of the intensity training zones of endurance exercise, of strengthening exercise, and how movement activity breaks throughout the day beats both of those put together, because in a calorie per calorie effort basis, because of how movement throughout the day keeps your muscles idling even when you're not moving in between the movement episodes or activity breaks. So in that mini course, I go through the details of what you're looking at in front of you right now. So just a quick review: the supply of nutrients through your cardiovascular system is facilitated by a fitness adaptation to cardiovascular exercise, whether it's low intensity, where you could go at that intensity for significantly longer than an hour, which is profoundly beneficial to your cardiovascular system and health span, long-term health, and increasing how many years you could potentially be alive. So past 100 to 110, et cetera. So in blue zone, in looking at people who live the longest, blue zone studies, they're not exercising, they're moving throughout the day, throughout their lifespan, to increase their health span for a greater number of years. But if you don't want to just be healthy, you're looking to turn a corner and go back, turn the clock back, like lose weight or regain lost lean tissue, go up in healthy weight, then you want to start bringing in a more robust adaptation. That's where the threshold 1 hour pace cardiovascular work and the 10-minute pace come in. So when you're doing a pace that you can't easily maintain for longer than an hour, this activates your fight or flight system to turn the engines on so that you have a greater adaptation to the effort. And if you amp it up even more to a 10-minute pace, so whether it's gardening, walking, cycling, swimming, doesn't matter, whatever it is that you're doing, where it's at a high enough intensity that you can't maintain it easily for longer than 10 minutes, then that is your maximum oxygen delivery, the maximum volumetric flow of oxygen and use, and therefore your maximum fat burning use. So it adapts your body to maximum fat delivery. That is your 10-minute pace, VO2 max. And if you're doing things 1 minute maximum pace, at the longest 3 minutes, this depletes fuel and muscle so fast that you change gene expression in muscle to increase fat burning. So that increases the demand as opposed to the supply. So high intensity training, or high intensity interval training, HIT and HIIT, really increases demand within muscle, the same way as plyometric and circuit work or a boot camp class would, where you have strengthening but you don't take a break. That's what the short bursts do. On the other hand, strengthening at a high cadence, normal movement cadence, increases your neuromuscular function. That maximizes your power. But if you go to the heaviest resistance to push or pull, that maximizes your force. Force is your engine size. Power is the engine's ability to maintain high output for an extended period of time. And if you go to a lower resistance where you can do more than 10 repetitions, that increases the engine's efficiency in using fuel, which is a muscular endurance, not a cardiovascular endurance. And then movement throughout the day keeps that engine idling throughout the day. So this is our entire system. I color-coded with dots what are the primary fuel sources for these. Again, if you want more detail, please go to my metabolic exercise mini course. So to simplify this, we have the red arrow supplying in the supply component of our metabolic flow, our short bursts or sprints, 1 minute bursts, maximum 3 minutes, increasing the demand, just as is the strengthening component of our lifestyle choices. And the movement component, the lower right, the activity breaks, that keeps our muscles idling to increase the demand without increasing the engine size. Nutrition comes in on the supply end. Stress breaks down the engine and therefore breaks down the demand component. And sleep is where we have an acceleration of DNA gene expression that serves as the foundation for the maintenance of our cells and therefore the foundation of our engine. This brings us to that stress and sleep component that you just saw on the right-hand side of that metabolic flow chart.